Hello and welcome back to KNF Design. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I try to bring a wide variety of different craft projects to you. If you ever have a craft project you would like me to show you how to make or just want to see me try to make it, let me know down below and I'll try my best to bring that to you. If you like today's craft project, make sure to hit those thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to me and it helps bring my crafting videos to more crafters like you. Don't forget to also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on any of our crafting fun. So with that, let's get crafting. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do an Irish board card, and I'm going to be making it into a Valentine's Day card, but you could use this technique for other things as well. This would also be pretty as maybe a wedding card or an anniversary card as well. So the first thing we need to do, there's two files in this design and you need to use both of them. This one here is what's showing you where to do all of your paper folding, and it is a JPEG file. So first, take that JPEG file and bring it into Cricut Design Space, and I like to hit the complex, continue. Now this is just showing the blank paper. It's a lot of extra, so I like to just click the background, and you can see it changed it to this checkered pattern. That just means it's translucent, transparent, it's not there anymore. And you can even preview it if you would like. And then just hit apply and continue. And we want to keep the print then cut version. So we'll click on that one because we'll be printing this out. So then we have that one we just did, and then we also need, this is the other file, the SVG file. So we need to upload both and select both, add them to our canvas here. So it'll look like this. There's a big rectangle, so we need to do a few things here. So first we'll ungroup so we can move all of these individual pieces. So this is the code with all the files in it. The file itself, I'm just going to move it over here so it's easier to see. The file itself was made with a black line, so Cricut just makes it by default all black. So I'm just going to change it to white so we can see it better. And we'll change this one to white too so we can see it better. As you can see, you have the Happy Valentine's Day and a little hood peeking through here. So this white square here is just in front of all that, so I'm going to send it all the way to the back, which then put it behind the big hood, which we don't want, so I want to move it right about there. You can move it over here in this layers column, or you could have gone and arranged and brought it forward a few times. Either way works. Then a big hood here, I'm going to change it to red so it's easy to distinguish it. And we'll arrange it, and we want it all the way to the front. So that's how a hood will look. And this hood here is going to be cut out of this rectangle here. So we need to select both that rectangle and the hood, and you can see that it's selected there and there. And we'll go to Combine, Subtract. So we have cut out the hood from the rectangle here. And you can go back, and I like slice because you can still, it's not permanent, you can still move things around. And actually, before we get too far, I want to change the size of everything. So let's select everything, and we want our code to be 8.5 by 5.5. So let's change that here. And I select everything. If you only select just the outline, then it won't size proportionately, and then you have to resize everything by itself. So select everything, and this is a 4.8.48, so it's close enough to 4.5. This one needs to be 3.7, and by 5, close enough. And then our little hood here, so since we sliced it out to be able to see it, just go over to the layers panel and select it. It needs to be 2.94 by 2.95, which it is. This one also needs to be that same measurement, so we'll go 2.94. It'll be just slightly, but what we want to see is if we put this over it, it'll be about that same size. That looks pretty good there. So we'll leave it like that. I'm just hitting the back button here, that way it goes back to the placement that I had it. This piece here, it's a print and cut, and so this was just brought in here so we can size it well. And then when you go to make it, you print it with your computer, and then you don't have to cut it with the Cricut. You can just lay the piece of paper and work with it. Unless you want to, you can. I'll probably just print it on a scrap piece of paper, and that'll just give us a design underneath here. I'm going to move my words to the front here. So these words here, I want my Cricut to draw it with a pen, so I'm going to do that. Because it's a pen, that's how it's going to look. You can change the color if you would like to. I'm not quite sure what color I'll do yet. But anyway, once you have that, you select the words, and we also want to select the code here, and we want to attach it. And that's just going to tell Cricut to keep the word, this hood, and the rectangle here all together. So when we go to make it, it will stay together. Otherwise, it'll try to put this Happy Valentine's Day on another mat. And this doesn't need to be, well, I'll do this first. The next thing here is this line down the middle. This is to be a score line. So under Draw, click on Score, and you'll see it changes it to a dotted line. If you don't have a score line, just hide or delete that line. If you don't have a scoring stylus or a scoring wheel, the scoring wheel is only used in the Maker machines, Maker 3. But that'll just help you fold your code in half. So we want to then select that score line and the large rectangle. I held down the Shift button as I clicked those. And we want to hit Attach. And that way they will also stay together. We'll send it all the way to the back there. Oh, this is just saying that there's a low resolution. It's not going to be really nice and crisp when we print this hood. That's okay. We also no longer need a measurement since everything's sized. And then I'm going to send this all the way to the back. And then move it up a little. Oops. deflect the wood. There we go. And move it up. Okay, so that's how a card is going to look. I'm going to pull these just a little bit too, so it's okay that it hangs off here, but if you want to move it, you can. These are all going to be cut separately because I'm going to actually make them different colors. Let's do maybe a red. Let's do a white, maybe even a pink. So you can go and change them and make everything the color you would like it to be so you can see how it might look. Go like that, and then I might change it to a dark red. That would be pretty. So I might go ahead and do this and then leave this white so it's kind of shows some of those other things. Then, I don't know, you can play around with the colors. But with that, we're ready to make it, and just cut your cardstock, depending how thick of a cardstock you do. Insert the pen in the scoring stylus or wheel when it tells you to. And again, this just hit print, but you don't actually have to have it cut. So I went ahead and cut out my hoods in different pieces out of my cardstock here. So you need cardstock, I'm doing 3 different colors of paper. This is just kind of this fun, I don't know what you call it, paper. It's called Dreamlike. Just some fun patterns in here. And for this is what we're going to be folding. So I'm gonna cut the strips into about an inch. You could probably go a little less since it's a smaller card. And I'm just going to be lining them up. And I'll show you a little bit more with that. I might use this little tool here to cut my 1-inch strips. You could cut it by hand. You just want to make sure your fold line is straight. So we'll cut some little strips out of these 3 patterns. So we have A's, B's, and C's. So I think I'm going to make my A's, my B's, and my C's. So each letter will go with a section of paper. Now this paper, you want something pretty thin. I like the ones that are single-sided. If they are double printed, they tend to be a little bit thicker. Cardstock's a little too thick too. It can work, but you really want like origami paper, tissue paper, just paper that's printed on it. Nothing too thick, so when you fold them, it doesn't get too bulky. If you do end up doing a bulkier paper, even just in general, you might want to also get a brayer to help with your bends, get those nice crisp lines, and just get everything down flat. This is my cardstock that I wrote my sentiment on. I kept it nice simple, just so this would be the star of the show. Typically with the Irish Fold, this center piece that doesn't have a number or letter on it, you typically do something kind of like a wow piece to really make you focus on that center. So maybe a glitter cardstock or something like that. Or if you don't want it to stand out, you could technically just continue it with one of your papers here. And since I was using my marker, my Cricut marker here, this side, it's textured and bumpier. I don't know if you can tell that here. So I made sure that I wrote with the pen on the smooth side because the marker doesn't always mark well on the bumpy sides. And then we have all the extra hurt pieces that we will add. This one you won't need, it was a cutout here. So it's just kind of nice to keep for another project. So I'm gonna go cut some strips of paper and I'll show you how to do that. Oh, you also will need some tape. I'm just gonna use some washi tape so it's not as sticky and doesn't tear up my paper. So you could cut this out, but it's better if you don't because I'm going to tape this paper that we just printed off the printer, nothing fancy. Don't need your Cricut machine to do that. I'm using my washi tape to tape it down to my desk so it does not move on me. Alright, so it's nice on there well. And then I have my little strips. I went ahead and folded my strips in half. Technically, you do about like 2/3 of a fold instead of a half, but I just thought it was a little bit easier to fold it in half. It still works. Either way is fine. And what you're going to be doing is you take, so this is going to be the front of our card. We want to flip it over and put the back side down, line it up into our little shape here, and tape it down. And this is where you really want to do this like washi tape or something just so it doesn't tear your card. No, it doesn't move on us. Okay, so then the folded edge you're going to put down. We're going to start with 1A and line it up in that little square, that little box area with the folded line here. You don't want the folded out, you want it inward. And so we'll go here with 1A, 1B, 1C. Then you go back and do the 2s. And so all of our A's are going to be this red color, B's are going to be this like dark pink, and then the C's will be these purpley colors. So we'll just rotate and keep going. And then for the center, I think I'm going to do this shiny, it is a thicker cardstock, but it'll just go in the center. So we'll do that for the center. So, and if it's hanging off the end, that's okay. We will just trim it later, but I haven't trimmed my paper yet, so that's, we just need about here. And then we take some tape. This is just regular tape, and we'll tape it down. So I went ahead and moved my washi tape down just so I'm not taping onto the washi tape here. So we have our 1A folded piece going inward. And just make sure your tape doesn't go on the outside or inside here. And we will tape that down. So our first piece is done. The hardest thing to do is don't try to take this off and look, otherwise things will shift. So we did 1A, so now we'll go to 1B. go back to 2A and do all of our 2s. And you overlap it, that is fine.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's facts. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
Now that we've gone all the way around, finished up all our numbers and letters, we will finish with our final centerpiece there and just tape it in place. Just going to add some extra tape just to make sure everything's down. You can even go over just to make sure it's nice and flat. Alright, looks good. Let's reveal it. I think this technique, this Irish fold, is really cool how it turns out. If you have any pieces sticking out along the edges that you didn't cut already, then you can just take scissors and trim it. I'm going to then attach it to my card here and then add all of our little hoods. Now to attach it, it's a little bulky here and a little gappy down here. You could put some foam to even that out, but if you do, you'll see a little bit of that mess inside. So I'm just going to do some glue and then put a heavy book on top, and then once it dries, I'll add all of our fun little extra pieces here. This is heavy, so I really want to add a lot of extra glue to it just to make sure it's down. So this layer has dried, and I just placed my little hearts where I wanted them to go. Originally I was going to put at least some of the big ones, kind of bend them and glue there so they kind of stick up a little bit. But now that I've laid them out, I kind of just like them flat, I think, and that way it doesn't take away too much from here. So I think I'm just going to glue them flat. Letting some of the textured side show, and then flipping some of the others so it doesn't. And there is a card. We just have to write a little sentiment inside. But I really like how it came out. It's a fun technique. If you really like this Irish folding, let me know down below, and I'll try some more advanced techniques to show you some more fun Irish folds and things like that. It's a lot easier than it looks, so don't be intimidated.